live on the regular platform. I don't know what happened. It is the strangest thing. But we are good. We are on, we should be on YouTube. We should be on every platform right now with our regular software, so you'll be able to do all your streaming and commenting and everything like that. And we will have Dr. G coming up at 9:30. This is just the craziest thing. I can't apologize enough. I hate causing people I work with extra stuff. I want to remind you there is softball this afternoon. It is Madison at Waterville. It's at 4 o'clock. Mike Violet is your host, and it is going to be a humdinger. It's going to be a barn burner, as my friend George Boyce used to say. He's a former Republican representative in Augusta. He's also a great sportscaster. I don't know where George Boyce is anymore, but he's a great guy. If he's still around, tell him I said hi. If he's not, I'm very sorry. I just have completely lost touch. Okay, so hopefully we're on the mainstream right now. We're going to take a break here, and I'm going to touch bases with Mike and offer my condolences and apologies to him for all this mess that I have caused. Time right now is 9:20 on Legacy 1160. I am John James, and we will be right back. And morning, Heather. I said, that was operator error. I said, we will be right back.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly cloudy with a chance for showers this morning for southern Maine and New Hampshire. Sunny breaks midday and this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s at the coast, 60s inland. Showers return this evening along with the chance for some thunderstorms. Scattered showers tomorrow, low to mid 50s. Showers continue into Friday but clear out for the weekend.
All right. Now we're cooking with gas. I was watching Mike Violet's show here on the other computer. He was interviewing Naomi Wolf, and I kept thinking it was live, and he could see me, and I was talking to him, and I was literally mouthing words to a recorded video. Boy, do I feel stupid. And why am I telling you this? I have no idea. We have Dr. John Garofalo coming up a little later on this morning. He doesn't know I'm not at the studio this morning. I was going to text him, but then all hell broke loose, and I appreciate it. Mike is very accommodating, and that will not happen again. It was a conflict with the Augusta studio, and I don't know. I think we need to just reboot things every once in a while. You know how that goes. Control, Alt, Delete, right? And reboot. That's how we do it around here. Well, we've got a lot of stuff to get to this morning. Now, I want you to share this later on at 10 o'clock this morning. As I told you, I want you to share this because we are going to be going to some speeches in New Hampshire. We aired a couple of them yesterday. I'm going to re-air the ones we aired, and I've got another one I'm going to add in because I think this is important. And I had people emailing me yesterday saying, I want to share this. I want to share this. Well, the audio this is very big files, the audio that we use on this stuff here, and I just didn't have time to compress them, to send them out or anything, and I'm getting so many requests. So what we're going to do is we're going to air the whole show after the 10 o'clock news. So I want you, if you wish to share it. Share it at 10 o'clock. Share the video. Tell people, send them the link to legacy1160.com, the audio link or the video link. It doesn't matter how you share it, but share it. And this is all about the trying to get rid of everywhere. This happened to be in New Hampshire, and believe me, this is on its way to Maine. It's already, I've heard inklings that it's already coming to Maine, in southern Maine, maybe other parts of Maine. Critical race theory. Critical race theory, here's what it is in a nutshell. I'm going to tell you what critical race theory is in a nutshell. It's teaching your kids how to be racist. There you go. That's the curriculum. Is that what you want in your Maine schools? They are teaching your kids how to be racist. Why? Because they want the divisiveness. Because divisiveness between the people leads to power for the elite. This is all part of the game plan. It's all a means to the end. The means is whatever it takes. Stoking racism, opening the border, paying for everybody's Medicare, paying for everybody's school, paying for everybody's health care. And it's all a means to an end, control and power for the left. Period. End of story. Don't argue it. It's the truth. I will accept no arguments on that point because it's true. It's time to stop listening and trying to compromise on that issue because compromise is going to get us nowhere. It's time to this is where the rubber meets the road, my friend. Critical race theory has got to go. I will be a voice to end it, and the voices that were in New Hampshire this past weekend, let me tell you something, you will be blown away by what they have to say. So you want to be here for it, coming up just after 10 o'clock, and it's going to take up probably most of the hour. And by the way, I'm just throwing this out, not that it matters, but as I say, I like to promote if I'm going to be somewhere else. We are on, by the way, let me tell you where we are right now. We're on legacy1160.com. That's our radio station, legacy1160.com. Listen 24/7. You can check the video stream out from 6 to noon, although I have not shared this video as of yet. Because we were a little late. We had a glitch getting to it. So I will make sure this gets shared at legacy1160.com here quickly. We are also on Facebook at Legacy1160, American Women Who Bear Arms, Right America Media, Freedom's Pep Rally with John James, and my page. And let's see, what else? Where else are we? Oh, we're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. And tonight I will be filling in for Keith Hansen again on the K-Star Radio Network and Ram Radio. It's a syndicated show from 9 to 10, and you can pick it up at rightamericamedia.com. Just click on Ram Radio, and it will be there from 9 to 10 tonight if you want to catch. I know it's only a 1 hour show there that I'll be doing tonight. Max, the feed on my personal Facebook page is gone. And the station's Facebook feed. Oh, boy. All right. Well, apparently we still have this. This was just a huge undertaking to get this to work. I don't know. Well, I think I know what the issue is, but I can't troubleshoot it right now, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I can't. I will look into it, Max, as soon as possible. If you want to make any comments on the feed right now, I appreciate that comment, by the way. I do believe we're on YouTube. It looks like we're on YouTube now, so you can go to YouTube and check it out. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share the YouTube feed right there. How about that? I'll share it on my personal Facebook page if that's where you choose to watch. So you will have that. And I will also share it on the Legacy Facebook page. Okay, it's already done on mine. That's how quickly I can work in this studio. It's so much easier for me. I have everything right at my fingertips. And it's going to be on the Legacy 1160 page. And as I say, I don't know why. I don't know why it just disappeared, but apparently it did. Dr. John Garofalo is going to be coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I've got to get him on the phone. That's the only thing, and I'm going to have to multitask in doing that. But I want to start the show out first before we go any further by telling you what we have coming up later on this hour. Of course, tonight's the big speech with Joe. Now, if he doesn't fall asleep before 9 o'clock, Joe Biden is expected to announce the American Families Plan. It's a joint address to Congress, but there'll be less than 200 people watching it in person. According to Fox News, this American Families Plan has been framed as a complement to earlier massive investments during the COVID-19 era. But critics will likely seize on the plan as an attempt to extend major parts of earlier relief packages. The legislation's an effort to build on the American Rescue Plan, which was the $1.9 trillion behemoth passed in March. Republicans opposed to the earlier plan because only 9% of the funds actually address COVID-19. You see, this is why there is going to be no compromise. As I say, this is where the rubber meets the road. They're done. They are done. They are done. They can fool the ignorant leftists on Facebook and Twitter who echo everything they say. They fool them because they're ignorant. They are ignorant. If you're a leftist and you love Joe Biden and you love everything they're doing, you are ignorant, you are in denial, and you are causing us to head to big trouble. Period. I'm talking to you. You need to hear what's coming up after 10 o'clock. If you're for critical race theory, you're an idiot. You are an idiot, and you need to listen. You need to learn. You're an idiot. I can't emphasize that enough. And yeah, I use the word idiot. If you believe in critical race theory, you're a moron. There's another word, an imbecile. You're anti-American. You're not a patriot. Go find another country. This is what I'm telling you right now. You're racist. Can I put it more bluntly than that? I think I've done pretty well. I'm proud of my bluntness with that diatribe, aren't you? I sure hope you are. I am. All right, so I've got to get Dr. G on the phone. This is going to be a bit of a stay with me here, okay? Because I'm not really sure. I can do this. I've just got to find the man's number here real quick, and I've done it. Watch this. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a phone. Do I? Oh, good, I do. I have a clean phone. I have a live phone ready to go. I'm going to dial it up. Should I say the number out loud on the air so you can call him and ask him questions? I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's check this out. Let's see if we can get him here. All right, this should work. I don't know. Oh, look, it's ringing. That's a good sign. That's a great sign right there. Dr. John Garofalo, recently retired PCP. I haven't heard from him, so I assume he's planning on doing the show.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. G.
How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you, buddy?
I don't know. I was hanging on the other line waiting for you to pick that one up.
Yeah, I'm at my other studio today. This has just been it's been one of those mornings, but we're past it now, I think. I think we're past it. So things are going to go good from now on today, but I had a hard time getting into this studio this morning. I couldn't get the software to switch studios. It was just the weirdest thing. So I've been working on that, and we're doing it. We've got it. We've got you on. I think that's great. So you were planning to be on this morning. I hadn't heard from you, so I assumed you were.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right. Before we start, I want to remind everybody, in case they missed it earlier during the big switch, softball today, Madison at Waterville, 4 o'clock, right here on Legacy 1160 and at legacy1160.com. Listen live, brought to you by the Harry J. Smith Company. Mike Violet doing play-by-play from Waterville, and it is going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Local sports leader right here, my friend. Are you a fan of any local high schools, or do you try to keep it, all over the place?
I sort of follow high school sports a little bit. My kids went to Halldale, of course.
Right.
And
so you're a Bulldog.
Kate's daughter went to Waterville, so we sort of keep an eye on both of those. And of course, that's kind of. But I don't really follow them closely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you got Waterville playing today, so if you want to listen to them, tune into Legacy 1160 and see how the Purple Panthers do against the Madison Bulldogs. How about that?
There you go.
So what's going on? I mean, do you have anything you want to talk about to get things started here? And if anybody has any questions, go ahead. Just not my personal. Okay, I got my personal Facebook going, Max. Where I got a video on my personal Facebook. I'm just responding to a couple of texts here. If anybody has a text for the doctor, by all means, hit us with it. And I'm going to ask the doctor. We've got him live here on the phone right now, but I'm going to let you start out if there's anything you want to say.
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about. There's a lot of confusing information about what the vaccinations do and don't do and what they mean and what being vaccinated means. And I just wanted to take 2 minutes just to say the bottom line is the data does seem to support that if you've been vaccinated and you've completed the series, that means you have to have both shots. A lot of people, there's been an increasing number of people who get their first shot and don't show up for the second one.
Well, see, that's not that. Why get the first shot if you're not going to go to if you're not going to get it, just don't get it. But
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
But anyway, but as long as you've been fully vaccinated, and that means waiting for 2 weeks after you receive your second shot, or just 2 weeks after you've received your J&J shot. That means that you're fully immunized. You are relatively well protected. That's not to say that there have been no incidences of people getting either severe infections or dying. But I think the number of deaths that have really been related to fully immunized people that didn't have other really comorbid conditions that really put them at risk for dying from anything they would get, is really almost zero.
Yeah,
the numbers are very, very low.
So
there have been a few.
After you've been vaccinated, we know the efficacy is not 100%. We know that, and so if you get sick after you get the vaccine, chances are you're still going to be okay, right?
Correct.
And they now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Let me finish what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So if you're out, so then if you've been vaccinated, if you're out in the open air, you don't really need to be wearing a mask. If you're in a situation where you're not in a closed space with a lot of people within short distance of you, you really probably don't need your mask.
Yeah.
There's probably a good argument that you don't need your mask if you've been immunized anyway. However, we don't yet know whether or not fomite, meaning getting virus on you, would it permit you to transmit it home or to someone who doesn't have protection. Probably very low risk of that, but not zero. So anybody who wants to go belt and suspenders and still feels like wearing a mask, go right ahead.
Right. Absolutely.
If you have not been immunized, you know what? This is a little bit beyond the point where we're trying to make the argument that you're protecting others. You are protecting yourself by wearing a mask.
Right. Okay. All right.
And the highest number of deaths, and notice our number of deaths is still going up. We just had another 5, yesterday? But that age range right now is the 20 to 40s.
Yep.
Okay. It's the 20 to 40s who haven't gotten their immunizations. And a few of them are in their 50s because, there's people there who haven't gotten theirs yet either. And so wake up. You're putting yourself at risk. You know,
Right.
you can't make the argument that, I mean, I suppose you can make the argument that, well, I don't care if I want to put myself at risk, I will. However, remember, if you haven't been immunized and you do get sick, you then are a risk to other people. So, so both arguments hold for those who are unimmunized. For those who are immunized who say, I'm not worried anymore, there's really no argument against about making them wear a mask. And that's really the science of it. The other thing is, interestingly, as the data is trended with the vaccines, we see that although we talk about the number of reactions people have had with Moderna, the numbers really show that there are more reactions to Pfizer, and that Pfizer is 90% efficacy, and that Moderna is 95% efficacy after your 2 shots.
Not Pfizer. So Pfizer's higher. So Pfizer is better outcome, basically.
No, Moderna is the better.
What is Moderna? I thought you said it was 90.
Moderna. Pfizer is 90% efficacy.
Oh, I thought you said Pfizer was 95.
No, Moderna is 90.
Oh, okay. I guess I heard wrong.
Which is a little bit different than the initial data from the studies. But this is the data based on what we've been seeing with, the increased immunization program.
Yep.
And so it's kind of interesting that things are trending that way. But that's what we said. That's what we've been saying right along. The studies, the initial studies are able to prove that the thing was A, safe, and B, did have enough efficacy to warrant giving it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have long-term data. Well, now we're getting more long-term data. The data we still don't have is how long the shots are good for.
Yeah.
In other words, when do we have to do boosters? That's still being watched. And so I don't have any information on that, but I just thought I'd pass along there's been a lot of misconceptions. And remember, these are not vaccines like a lot of other vaccines, which are either parts of viruses or weakened viruses that are causing the immune reaction.
Yep.
You can never get COVID from a COVID vaccine, nor can you give it from a COVID vaccine. The other good piece of data is that there's more data showing that it is safe to give to pregnant women, that the vaccine is safe to give during pregnancy, and there is definite data that shows that the risk of miscarriage and loss of pregnancy is higher if you get infected, preterm labor, that kind of thing. It's higher if you get infected with COVID when you're pregnant. The data is mixed on whether or not there is any evidence of what we call pterogenicity or birth defects related to COVID. It's still murky as to whether there's an association there or not.
Related to COVID or related to the vaccine, or don't we know about the vaccine?
Yes. The answer is yes to both of them.
Okay.
The data is the data is definitely clear that let me rephrase that.
All right.
There is no data that shows that there's any danger to a pregnant woman from the vaccine. Okay, in terms of birth defects or miscarriage.
But this is still early. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's still early, but so far the data is still trending that way. I mean, it's still very much showing that there's no risk. And this, that was the preliminary stuff. We're now past preliminary. We're now at short-term data stuff like we had when we started giving the vaccine in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
When we decided it was safe to go ahead and start immunizing people.
Yep.
So we're at the point where now what we have to do is just see long-term whether anything else turns up with pregnancy.
Well, yeah, and generally
speaking, it's safe in pregnancy, but there is definitely associated with miscarriage and preterm labor in unvaccinated people. If you get COVID, the data is murky on whether or not it causes birth defects.
All right.
In unvaccinated people.
All right. It's all very interesting. I mean, we're still sort of in a state of flux here.
Well, we're learning, but I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah.
Immunized is really what you want to do.
It's early.
You really want to get immunized.
Yeah. Well, we've got I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard of Naomi Wolf?
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
Okay, she's going to be in Augusta tonight. She's well, let me give you her credentials. She is a excuse me. She is a tech CEO, a big tech CEO. She is a liberal feminist and author of a bunch of books, including, and I forget what the name. I don't have the name of her book right here. Okay, here it is. Public speaker, transformational executive with an impressive track record. She's in charge of the Urban Global Health Alliance as CEO founder, and at Freedom Travel Alliance as a CMO founder. Oh, no, that's somebody else. Oh, here's Naomi Wolf. Okay, a Rhodes Scholar. I'm sorry. I've got my printed pages mixed up. A Rhodes Scholar, former advisor to Clinton and Gore campaigns, author of 8 New York Times nonfiction bestsellers. She's been creating globally influential opinions for 28 years. She's also CEO of Daily Cloud, which is a tech company. And she's coming. Then the reason I bring her up is she's been all over the news, and she's coming to Maine tonight. She's going to be in Augusta at Capitol Park at 6:00. And what it says here, I got this from Representative Shelley Rudnicki. It says, Dr. Naomi Wolf will be joined by Maine legislators and others to shine a light on an unprecedented and massive infringement on the rights of American citizens as they proudly launch the 5 Freedoms campaign tonight at 6. And here are the pillars of the 5 Freedoms campaign. And this, I mean, it's up to you to respond. I'm just letting you know what's going on and our listeners. No vaccine passports, no mask mandates, no emergency law, open schools up 100%, freedom of commerce, assembly, and to petition. And that's what she's going to be speaking on tonight at Capitol Park.
Okay, so some of the stuff that she just said there is already guaranteed in the Constitution.
Right.
Some of the stuff in there is also a matter of law, which I will make no comment on because this is all I'm going to say is follow the science and follow the laws, and that's what people have been trying to do, and otherwise I'm out.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine.
No further comment than that.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted you to know what was going on and hear what she was going to be talking about and what this 5 Freedoms campaign is all about. And
it sounds like. Well, I'll tell you. The only thing I would say is it's very easy to create straw men and then tear them apart. And so anything that so I would have to hear exactly what was said before I'd have any comment on any of it.
Okay, well, I think this.
Other than my general comment is always there are laws in place. There are constitutional guarantees in place, and as long as we stick with those and the science, we should be fine.
All right. Yeah, well, the vaccine passports is a big one. That's what she's mostly been talking about on her national tour. But she's, there are these other things too, the 5 Freedoms. So anyway, and Mike Violet had her on. You can find that interview, I'm sure, on his on the Legacy Facebook page, I'm sure, and probably I don't know where else he's put it, but it is available there at Legacy 1160's Facebook page. All right. So how are you doing after your 2 shots? You and your wife?
We're doing fine. We're good.
Great. And you had very little in the way of symptoms afterwards, right? Nothing serious.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of trouble. I mean, we had one day where we felt kind of, sort of tired and out of it. But other than that, we've been doing okay.
Did they give you a piece of paper saying you'd have the vaccine? I mean, do you get a card
we have 2 little cards.
Okay.
That show that when our immunizations were given.
All right.
But that was partly. That was given to us. We got the card when we first got our first shot. So when we came back, they could document that we came back. We had our second shot.
Right.
And then of course we get to keep those cards.
Yeah.
Well,
I think if you get a card after you get the vaccine, I wouldn't have a problem with that. because traveling to the European Union, it looks like you are going to need some proof of the fact that you had a vaccine, or forget about it. You can't go to the European Union. There are a lot of places you can't go. Europe.
That's like a lot of countries. You can't go to, you can't go into. There's still countries in the world where you can't get in unless you show that you've had a yellow fever vaccination.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's still places, until, I don't know, it must be 20 years ago now. No, more than 20 years ago now. But for a long time, you had to show that you'd been immunized for smallpox.
Yeah.
Before traveling in most of the world.
Sure.
I don't know.
No, I understand.
That's nothing. Showing that you've been immunized against a potentially infectious disease that can be transmitted, blah blah blah. That's been something that's gone on for years. Nothing new.
Right. No, that's fine. I mean, that's not our country. That's not our thing. We want to go there. Well, just like if people want to come here, they should. They don't have to, but they should have to abide by our rules. But when we go to other countries, we have respect for them. We don't invade their borders, and we do. If we have to show we had a COVID vaccine, then we either show it or we don't go. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. That's our choice of freedom to go or not to go. And if you want to go, you'll have to have some proof. And I'm not sure what that proof is going to be. That's what I'm waiting to see, that you've had the COVID vaccine. So our time right now is 9:50. We don't have a lot of time left. So do you want to get to a question, or do you have anything else you want to? Okay. All right. I've got a couple of them here. I didn't have a chance to go into any archives because, as I say, the first half hour I was busy before the show and during the first half hour trying to figure out why it wasn't working. So, question: I get ear infections a few times a year. Sometimes, did I do this one last week? Maybe not.
I don't remember. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. It's all right. We will answer for somebody anyway. I get ear infections a few times a year, sometimes in both ears. They are very painful. I'm just a little anecdote here. I used to get them years ago. I remember I was working in Lewiston Auburn at the time, and I'd get them in both ears, just like this person, and they would be so painful that it hurt me to put on my headphones to do my show. It hurt just to have those headphones on my head. So this sounds like this person's got the same thing. Can they cause hearing loss, and can they be prevented? And my addition to that would be, if so, how?
Okay, number one, it depends on what kind of ear infection you're talking about. If you're talking about otitis externa, which is ear infections involving the ear canal, if you think about it, the ear canal goes to the eardrum.
Right.
The eardrum goes to the middle ear where there are bones in there that take the vibration of the eardrum and transmit them to the cochlea, which is where they get converted into electrical signals so we can hear them as sound.
Wow.
So now the middle ear is where those bones are. That's on the other side of the eardrum from the outside.
Okay.
So there's otitis externa and there's otitis media. Media is that middle chamber. That middle chamber has a tube which goes down into the back of your throat. The
eustachian tube.
Which equalizes pressure behind the eardrum, the eustachian tube.
Yeah.
Right. And the eustachian tube, that like when you pop your ears when you're going up and down in an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
What you're actually doing is equalizing the pressure so that the pressure behind your eardrum is the same as the pressure on the front of your eardrum.
Huh.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay, so now pain from an ear infection, and the otitis externa comes from actually the infection in the canal itself, where there are nerve endings and all that kind of stuff. And generally speaking, otitis externa will not ever cause any hearing loss.
All right.
It can be very painful.
Okay.
Even slight movement of the ear can cause severe pain.
Yeah, that sounds like it. All right.
Yep. And the best way to prevent that and keep it from happening, they're all treatable.
Yeah.
Although sometimes external ear infections, depending on what the infection is, it can get really nasty and be difficult to treat. But they're all treatable. And the best way to prevent external ear infections just keep water out of your ears, particularly when swimming, and particularly when swimming in lake water or seawater.
Okay.
Non-chlorinated water, and that helps prevent those.
So
Otitis media, on the other hand, is a different critter. Otitis media usually occurs when there's been something that's interfered with the function of the eustachian tube and allows fluid. The ear is always creating fluid, and you get what you call an effusion behind the eardrum. In other words, usually we drain down the eustachian tube isn't draining, and that provides a media for bacteria to grow in.
Oh.
That usually, interestingly enough, middle ear infections don't get painful until the swelling and the increase is enough to cause distension of the eardrum.
Oh, really? And that's where the hearing loss occurs.
That's what causes it to hurt.
Ooh.
The problem with middle ear infections is that if they get to a point of chronicity where the fluid never resolves, that can start to affect your hearing, because it's just like anything else. If you put a drum head on top of a barrel of water and the water's in contact with the drum head, it won't make any sound.
Right. Okay, yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
It damps out the vibrations. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing. It damps out the vibrations to keep the vibrations from being transmitted, and that will can over time cause hearing loss.
Permanent hearing loss, or?
Yeah, if let it go long enough, it could cause permanent hearing loss.
All right.
Plus, the other thing is the infection itself can cause some damage from toxins from whatever the particular bacteria is.
Yep.
But more concern. The other thing that's interesting though about middle ear infections, especially in kids, a lot of times, unless the kid has a big effusion, in other words, you see a lot of fluid behind the eardrum, and you're worried about, being able to get the inflammation and stuff to go down. A lot of times we don't treat them. And the reason is because then what happens is the kid develops their own antibodies against that particular bacteria and doesn't get ear infections again. And so, there's good evidence that there's good evidence these days that most middle ear infections, not all, middle ear infections are self-limiting, and that you take care of them yourself. And so, if someone's having recurring ear infections, most likely that's otitis externa, and the way to keep those from happening is primary prevention, which means keep water and stuff out of your ear.
Okay, but when you're taking a shower, sometimes it's unavoidable, right?
Yeah, but again, as long as you get the ear dry afterwards, not letting the water sit in there, that's the problem.
All right. Now, what causes? Okay, this is I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here. It still has to do with hearing. I've got a Mary Ann tells me all the time you need bell tones, and I don't doubt her. And I've worn headphones for over 40 years doing this job. It's part of the job. I guess you'd call it a hazard of the work. Music most of the years blowing in my ears, and then my own voice. You have to listen to what's going on. And I've got some, the conversational range, I guess, high end and mid range hearing loss. What causes that? I mean, what damage occurs that causes you to
high frequency hearing loss?
Yeah.
High frequency hearing loss is one of the symptoms of exposure to loud noises.
Okay.
Like those marginal DJs out there that play loud music.
Yeah. I know
any of those.
I know a few. Yeah, I was very very close to one.
But I mean, people like who run jackhammers and they don't wear ear protection. People who work in construction or don't wear ear protection. Any exposure to prolonged exposure to high volume noise can cause hearing loss, and it usually starts with high frequencies.
Yeah,
there's also something called presbycusis, which is high frequency hearing loss, which is also a consequence of just aging.
Oh, okay. So,
high frequency hearing loss that occurs as a consequence of aging, but usually that's out of the conversational range. It's when you get into the conversational frequency ranges is when people really start to experience trouble with hearing things.
Yeah.
That's the old story about the guy who went to the doctor, said, I don't think my wife is hearing me anymore because she doesn't, she doesn't talk to me. He said, well, here, what you do is test her. Start down the hall and ask her a question, and then go to the door of a room and ask her a question, and then stand behind her and ask her a question and see when she answers you. And so the guy went home and he went down the hall and said to his wife, what's for dinner? Didn't hear anything. Went to the door of the room she was sitting in reading and said, what's for dinner? Didn't hear anything. Went up and stood behind her chair and she said, honey, what's for dinner? She said, for the third time. Okay, so he was the one who wasn't hearing.
That's great. That's great. That's funny. I love that. I was going to say something.
You got to be careful about how to judge it. I mean, really, to really figure out what's going on with your hearing. Yeah. But don't forget, there's two types of hearing loss. There's neuro hearing loss, meaning there's actually been damage to the nerves, which would be the noise stuff and things like that. And then there's also mechanical hearing loss, which can be due to diseases of the bones in the middle of the ear, scarring of the eardrum, forcing it not to work properly. Yep. Those kind of things. Chronic ear effusions, meaning persistent fluid in the middle ear. So there's different types of hearing losses that can be ferreted out by getting a hearing test done.
Yeah, I probably should have another one. That's all very interesting. Yeah, my dad had hearing. My dad worked in the woods for years and years, chainsawing, and he had a bad hearing loss. Maybe no worse than mine, but. I do wear hearing protection when I'm out doing chainsawing now, or chipping wood with my chipper.
I wear it when I wear my leaf blower. I wear it when I wear my lawnmower.
Yeah. I used to see people doing that and saying, why are they doing that? Now I know, and so now I do.
Now you know.
I've got an electric lawnmower now, so I don't need to wear anything while I'm using that, and I love that. So. Anyway,
the only other danger from ear infections is if you do get persistent middle ear infections, it can lead to what's called mastoiditis. You know that big bumpy bone right behind your ear?
Yeah.
That's the mastoid bone.
Okay.
That's part of your skull. And you get infections in that bone, and it's actually like any other osteomyelitis, which means a bone infection, and that's serious business.
Wow.
That's close to your brain.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. It's just something to be aware of.
No kidding. Okay.
So it's not. So you don't want to ignore. If you have ear pain, you don't want to ignore it.
Right.
You want to get it checked out and see what it is.
Okay. Well, that's good. Thank you for that advice. That's good to know. Also, one more thing. My son had his adenoids, and he had tubes, he had tubes put in. I'm thinking tubes taken out, but no, that wasn't it. So I was thinking, do they take the eustachian tubes out? No, they don't. They put tubes in to drain the ear.
You put what's called a ventilating tube through the eardrum. Okay. And it's like anything else. Just like you'd have to have a vent on the drains in your house.
Right.
So-called stink pipe. Okay.
Yeah.
The vent, because water won't go down a drain if there's nowhere for the air that it's pushing in front of it to go.
Right. Okay.
Right? And so that's the same. So if you're not draining down the eustachian tube, you put in a ventilating tube, and that allows a place for fluid to drain out of the ear.
So it's like a stink pipe in your ear.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It allows drainage so you don't wind up with that persistent effusion, which can lead to hearing loss.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Okay. That's that.
But it's not the infection that necessarily leads to the hearing loss. It's the persistent effusion.
The effusion is the building up of the liquid.
I'm sorry, what?
The effusion is the building up of the liquid and not draining.
The fluid, the fluid.
Right, fluid, not liquid. Fluid, liquid, same thing. That's my medical training for today. Dr. G, we're actually after 10 o'clock. I've got a big hour coming up this hour, but it's a pleasure as always talking with you, and I'm glad you were okay with me suddenly calling you out of the blue as you were waiting for me to pick up on the other line there. We finally got things connected, and as always, I appreciate your time and your good advice always.
Well, you're more than welcome, and as always, be careful out there and be respectful.
Absolutely. You have a great week.
Get your shot.
Get my shot. Yeah, I said yesterday. I announced it yesterday. I plan to. I know my wife will say, well, you don't seem to be in a hurry to, and I'm not, I guess. But most of my work I'm doing right here in my home studio anyway. She's been vaccinated, so we're pretty good. I'm all set right now. But yeah, I am going to get it done. I am going to get it done.
I mean, if you really want to get yourself freedom of movement, get your shot.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care.
You have a great day, Dr. G. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Incense and Peppermints doesn't just have a huge selection of scrumptious candies. They have sweet treats that'll bring back wonderful memories every time you share them. Incense and Peppermints has candy that's fun for the whole family, like Jelly Bellies, Smarties, Turkish Taffy, Mellow Cups, Laffy Taffy, and Necco Wafers. And candy that'll take you on a trip down memory lane, like old-fashioned penny candies, root beer barrels, atomic fireballs, Mary Jane's Bit of Honey, and Jawbreakers. They even carry Maine favorites like Moose Poop and Saltwater Taffy. Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
It's a new year. Aren't you tired of walking over the same beaten up old flooring? It's time you installed a new floor that offers premium durability by contacting HT Winters about their line of Tarkett Pro Gen Tile and wood flooring. Tarkett is designed to stand strong in all seasons against water, dirt, and sunlight. The best way to improve your home this winter is to install Tarkett Pro Gen Tile and wood flooring. HT Winters, 43 Bay Street in Winslow, and online at htwintersflooring.com.
Hi, my name is Tony Esposito from Rockland Ford. If you haven't heard, things are getting even crazier in the car business. Computer chip shortages mean that we have no idea when we will be getting new vehicles. Now, what does that mean for you? Your used car has skyrocketed in value. You may even be able to make a profit on it. At Rockland Ford, we are paying all the money for used vehicles every single day. So call us and take advantage of the market before it's over. On another note, as Rockland Ford continues to grow, we are looking for new team members to join our family. We are hiring for all departments with sign-on bonuses of up to $10,000. Some positions don't require any experience at all. So if you have been looking to start a career in a fun, fast-paced, team-oriented environment, then we want you on our team. Call us at Rockland Ford, home of the Rock Bottom Deal, Route 1 in Thomaston.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly cloudy with a chance for showers this morning for southern Maine and New Hampshire. Sunny breaks midday and this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s at the coast, 60s inland. Showers return this evening along with the chance for some thunderstorms. Scattered showers tomorrow, low to mid 50s. Showers continue into Friday but clear out for the weekend.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Ika Giacchi. The main event in Washington today, President Biden's speech to a joint session of Congress, his first address before lawmakers.
President Biden tonight will lay out the details of his American Family Plan, what the White House is calling a, quote, once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's future. The $1.8 trillion proposal would create universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds, a step the White House says will benefit 5 million children and save the average family $13,000 a year. The plan also calls for 2 years of free community college and a national paid family and medical leave program. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott will deliver the Republican response to President Biden's speech. The CDC telling people it's okay to get rid of the masks if you're outside and fully vaccinated. You should still wear it inside, however, at places like gyms, salons, and grocery stores. India struggling with the worst COVID numbers since the start of the pandemic. 200,000 people have died. This is ABC News. A hearing is set today on a request to release body cam video from the deadly police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. in North Carolina. A private autopsy says he was hit 5 times, including a fatal shot that hit him in the back of the head. The FBI has opened a civil rights investigation into the incident. Police in Virginia hunting for a killer who opened fire at an apartment complex, killing 1 person and leaving several children hurt. ABC's Derek Dennis has the latest.
5 people shot, all females, in the courtyard of a Richmond apartment complex.
It's just a heinous act that baffles the mind.
Police Chief Gerald Smith saying the victims were 2 adult women, 1 of them dead, and 2 teens plus a 3-month-old baby girl in serious condition, all shot outside.
Why would anyone do this and a quad full of children out enjoying themselves.
Investigators think the intended target was likely a specific apartment and not those who were shot. They're asking for tips from the community. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Ike Ajachi, ABC News.
Today, I'm going to surprise my girlfriend of 5 years with something great for her birthday. A scented candle. I'm talking a good scent, like lavender. Not something lame like pine. I've been building this gift up too, telling her it was going to be something special. She made a joke about me knowing her ring size, and I played it off like she was on the right track. I even mentioned that her parents were fully on board with the one I picked out. She's going to be so surprised to get this candle.
Maybe clueless boyfriends just need a Snickers. Snickers satisfies.
Legends of Nashville, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
She originally wanted to be an elementary school teacher, but things turned out very different for Reba McEntire, and she's been keeping busy in the studio waiting for better days ahead.
I hope we're nicer. I hope we're kinder. I want a better normal.
Legends of Nashville, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
I don't like it when that happens either. I know, I'm sorry. My bad. John James at your service here. Hour 2 of Freedom's Pep Rally. Don't forget, this afternoon, 4 o'clock, we got softball. Yes, we have Madison at Waterville. Game time, 4 o'clock. And Mike Violet is going to be doing all the play-by-play for you. And tonight, 6 o'clock at Capitol Park, Dr. Naomi Wolf is going to be there. Kevin Jenkins, attorney Thomas Renz. So I'm sure Janet Mills won't be there because Thomas Renz is the attorney who filed a lawsuit against Janet Mills to take away her executive power. So he'll be there. Senator Lisa Keim will be there. Representative Justin Fecto, Representative Heidi Sampson, all there tonight. So if you want to check that out. In Augusta, it's going to be a good night for it, too, it looks like. Really does look like it. Well, I told you this hour would be taken up with a lot of this radical thing called critical race theory, which is coming to Maine. And it doesn't matter that we are a majority white state. You know, this is going nationwide, as you'll hear. And while most of us prefer to be colorblind, I know I do. I think I'm probably speaking for most everybody. The left doesn't want us to be. The left wants to teach our children to be racist. So when you got little kids on the playground, little kindergarten, we're talking kids as young as 4 years old, by the way. This is not limited to high school students. It's not limited to a group having a discussion. This is indoctrination. This is part of the curriculum. So rather than learn about something that makes sense, like gun safety, the left wants you to learn about something that does not make sense, but is a means to their end for control and power, critical race theory. Now, the Idaho State Legislature has become the first in the nation to put a bill on the governor's desk that would ban critical race theory from being taught in public schools. Critical race theory is Marxist-based. It's Marxist. Just like Black Lives Matter is a Marxist organization, founded by a Marxist. Patrice Cullors is one of the co-founders, who just bought 4 houses, who just spent many, many thousands of dollars on a retreat at this pricey hotel complex for one of her organizations. She's helping the people. She's helping the people who are oppressed. Yeah, sure she is. She's helping Patrice Cullors. That's who she's helping. So Idaho is hopefully going to pass this bill. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Missouri, Texas, West Virginia are also considering bans on critical race theory, which, by the way, regards Western civilization as inherently racist. So in other words, whether you know it or not, if you're white, you are racist. That's what they're teaching kids. That's what they're and you won't believe some of the speeches. That's why I hope you stay with us for this whole hour. On Monday, the Idaho State Senate passed this bill 28-7. I'd like to know who the 7 people are, the 7 ignoramuses are who voted against it. Same in the House, 57-12. Who are the 12 dimwits who opposed the bill? They went along party lines. That's what it is. The Democrats love racism. They love Democrats. I'm sorry, if you're a Democrat, maybe I don't mean you. Maybe you're not like them, but you are leave the party. If you don't want to be grouped in with the rest of them, leave the party. They aren't representing you anymore. Democrats are racists. Period. I said it. I mean it. I mean it. Go ahead now. Call me racist on Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead. I know you want to. He's a racist. Democrats are racist. The left is racist. If you're a Democrat, leave the party. Run. Don't walk. Look at some of the great black voices we've had on that have left the party. Vernon Jones, Leo Terrell. There are other black voices who never were members of the party. Candace Owens, but they hate her. So on Monday, an estimated 100 students protested outside the State House against the bill. So the students are already indoctrinated into thinking that being racist is a good thing. So they're protesting the passing of a bill that would stop critical race theory from being taught. What kind of ignorant kids are we raising in this country? Crybabies. They are crybabies. They're bedwetters is what they are. Critical race theory is a postmodern theoretical framework rooted in Marxist principles that views individuals through the lens of the oppressed or the oppressor, based largely on their skin color. So you fit into one of those categories. Critical race theory puts you in one category. You're either an oppressed or you are an oppressor. Doesn't matter how successful you are as a black person. Doesn't matter how far down you are as a white person. The white is always the oppressor, and the minority is always the oppressed. Critical race theory. Just let us live. Let us all live and do what we can to survive and be great. Just leave race out of it. Leave superficial skin color out of it. It doesn't matter. Oh, but it does. It's a means to power for the left. Understand it? And you are going to be a lot further ahead. And you're also going to be a lot smarter. And you're going to be a much better fighter when it comes time to fight. Because believe me, this isn't headed to a good place. They are pushing and pushing and pushing. Joe Biden is about as left as they get. Anybody calls Joe Biden moderate, I want to give him a throat punch. You're a liar. You are either that or you are just in denial. All right, let's get to New Hampshire now. This is very important. Saturday, there was a rally. It was called Stop Critical Race Theory Indoctrination. CRT, Critical Race Theory. They had a pile of speakers there, different races, different ethnicities, and they were speaking truth. And I know there are a lot of people on the left that, what? Truth. What is that? Well, listen and learn. The left is, and their followers, by the way, there is the left, there is the hierarchy, the ruling class, and then there are the peasants. That's your friends on Facebook and Twitter who always fight with you and always call you out and always make rude comments on things you post politically. They come in and they say, well, you're wrong. They're the ones. They're ignorant. Ignore them. Ignore them. I'm telling you right now, ignore them because they will drive you batty. I mean, you can comment truth, but don't get into it with them because you can't argue with idiots. Simple. You're just going to frustrate yourself. Make a comment, polite, walk away. So here comes some truth from New Hampshire. The speakers on Saturday were unafraid. Governor Sununu, Chris Sununu, was not there. Oh, he wasn't even wanted there. He is, by definition, Republican in name only, a rhino. Now, the first piece is a woman, she's a doctor, Karlin Borisenko. She's a PhD. She's an organizational psychologist, consultant, and executive coach. She is also the creator and owner of Zen Workplace. She helps individuals find greater happiness and fulfillment in their lives. She's a former Democrat. And listen to why if you're on the left and you're a Democrat, listen to what she says. She is going to insult you. I will tell you that right now. She is going to insult you if you're a Democrat. There's a woman who was a Democrat over 20 years. She knows what it's like. She was in the trenches with y'all. Not anymore. She's going to insult you, but you need it. Here is Karlin Borisenko in New Hampshire.
I have been spending the last 2 years of my life studying and fighting back against critical race theory. And it is to the point now where I literally spend my days watching these trainings that are done in organizations and trainings that are done for teachers and even classroom instruction for school children in this absurd ideology. And let me tell you some of the things that I've seen directly with my own eyes. So the Coca-Cola Company. About a couple months ago, I got an email from an employee at the Coca-Cola Company. They said, Karlin, we all came in today and we're told we were mandated to do this training that told us to be less white. The training told them that white people were oppressors. They were aggressive. They weren't humble. They don't listen. And the instruction they were given by their superiors to keep their jobs is to try to be less white. And that training is not only done in the Coca-Cola Company, it is done in thousands of organizations across this country. Let me tell you about Sandia National Laboratories, which is the company that is in charge of maintaining our nuclear arsenal. They forced their white male executives to go on a 3-day retreat in New Mexico where they were forced to write letters apologizing for their inherent racism, even if their behavior had not been racist. The University of New Hampshire has trained their staff that the role of white employees is to shut up and to accept this absurd ideology. And if they fight back or question their racism in any way, that is just further proof of their inherent racism. I have seen classes for 14-year-old children where teachers are indoctrinating them into this ideology and teaching them if they believe in the Pledge of Allegiance, then they must accept critical race theory because that's the only way we're going to build a better country that is fair and equal to everyone. I have seen curriculum for students as young as 4 years old where they are teaching them this ideology. And I've heard a lot of people say they have biracial children here. So let me tell you what the teachers are teaching your biracial children. Because about 3 months ago, I sat in on a teacher training program and this question was asked. How do we work with our biracial children, our children who have one white parent and one non-white parent? Here's the answer. They are teaching these children to not identify with the white part of themselves because the white part is the oppressor, to only identify with the color part of themselves and not the white part of themselves. They're literally teaching that whoever the white parent is a racist and an oppressor. This is happening in schools all over the country. It is happening in New Hampshire. We have evidence that it is happening in schools all over this state, in Concord, in Bedford, in Holderness, everywhere. If you don't think it's happening in your kid's school, you just haven't seen it yet, but I promise you it is. But let me tell you this. Here is the bigger problem that we have, because listen, I was a Democrat for 20 years until I left the party last year after I realized what liars they are. And the Democratic Party at this point is lost. We did not expect any of them to support this bill at all. But I have to tell you, I was more than a little surprised when our Republicans were coming out and saying, maybe we should just compromise. Maybe we should just give it up. You know, Rand said that a compromise between food and poison can only lead to death. Critical race theory is poison. Any compromise with this absurd ideology is only going to lead to your children being indoctrinated by the teachers in their schools until they come home and say, why did the teacher say that mommy and daddy is racist?
Wow. Karlin Borisenko. Boom. Nailed it. They all nail it. They're all going to nail it. If you missed these first speeches yesterday, or even if you heard them yesterday, you're going to want to hear them. This is right over New Hampshire. We're in Maine. For anybody listening outside of Maine, we're in Maine. This is New Hampshire. This is coming to Maine. It's already in Maine. They're talking about it. There should be a law against it. It is wrong. It is stoking the fuel. It is fueling the fire and stoking the flames of racism, all for a corrupt and evil purpose that the left closes their eyes to. They are unaware. I believe your friends are really unaware it's happening. They're just so woke. You can be so woke you are literally sound asleep. Your head is literally buried in the sand. You can't hear or see anything except what your shepherds, the Democratic left, the ruling class, tells you. That's all you can see. That's all you know. That's all you echo. And it's plain and simple. It's ignorance. It's ignorance. Because everybody has a social justice lilt about them or social justice goal, I guess. And they use that social justice goal, not caring how corrupt their means to get to that goal are. They just know social justice, like transgender girls running on girls' teams. That's our focus. The Democrats are the only ones that want it. Joe Biden wants it. Go Democrats. So you're throwing away your country because you think transgendered girls should be able to run on the girls' team. And you can do that with just about any special interest. Pick a special interest that's unconstitutional. And I'll show you a bunch of people, a bunch of virtue signaling white people, it could be any race, who say, that's my issue. Democrats are for it. I'm with the Democrats. Meanwhile, the country falls around them. We head to socialism, Marxism, communism. It falls around them, and their eyes, they're blinded. They literally have blinders on. All they see is that special interest they're focused on, and the Democrats are the only ones who care because they're an emotional breed, remember? So I'm going to follow them because they make me feel good about transgender girls playing in girls' sports. They make me feel good about, you name it. They want the borders open. They want to bring people into our country, people who are suffering from a climate. They're climate migrants. So the Democrats want the poor climate migrants in. So I'm with the Democrats. They are destroying our country with your favorite issues. They are destroying the country. The things that we want and the things that they want are different, and they're for different reasons. We want girls to play in girls' sports. We want the borders closed except to those who want to come in here and do it the right way. Because we want freedom. They want the opposite because they want power and control, and they want Marxism. They want communism. They want to take things over. And believe me, when they finally get their way, the poor serfs there on the left who are blinded by their social justice path are going to be as sad and sorry they let it happen as anybody else. And they're going to be curled up in a fetal position somewhere on the side of the road saying, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Because of you dummy. Because you didn't stand up for freedom when you had the chance. I'm sorry, that was my phone. Let's get to the next speaker here. Dr. Karlin Borisenko was the first one. This Asian American, her name is Chow Kelly. She's in New Hampshire, leader of the New Hampshire Asian American Coalition. And does she love America, and does she speaks well. He speaks well. You want to know, okay, left, you really need to know where we're headed. And you might as well hear it from a minority. You might as well hear it from somebody who has lived in communism. You might as well hear it from somebody who sees what the Democrats are doing clearly. Now, you can deny all you want. Deny, deny, deny. You're a small town, insulated crybaby who doesn't know what you're talking about. Unless you've grown up in communism, can recognize communism, can see the Democrats are pushing for communism, shut up. You aren't welcome to speak about it because you don't know it. I get my information from people who understand these things. This is amazing. This is Chow Kelly. And the rally on Saturday in New Hampshire was the rally to stop critical race theory indoctrination. So here is Chow Kelly.
My name is Chow Kelly, and I thank God that I'm here in New Hampshire. It's not my choice. I was sent here. But I thank God for that because my father was a POW in the Vietnam War. And he was imprisoned by the communists for 7 years. And this man in the crowd here, 18 years in the communist prison, same prison with my dad. We, the Vietnamese American people, we know the value of freedom, okay? I'm telling you right now, one thing you need to take away today. It's not just about this critical race theory. It's not just that. Communists, the enemies of Americans and humankind, already here in America, in the White House, and in all the levels. They have every battles prepared, ready to take us all. This is one of the battles only. And if you allow this anywhere, in any school, in this country, you know what? You have the police in your house, your children. You won't have any more private conversation in your family because those soldiers, those police gonna report everything you say to their teachers. You cannot touch your kids and you cannot reach their fine. You gonna go to prison because of what your children report to them. This is what this is all about. Don't doubt me on that. I grew up in Vietnam, okay? And I was brainwashed by them. But I thank God for my mother, who was very brave during the time my father was in prison. Anything you say different than what the school and the government tell you, you get in prison. Every day I come home and I chanting what the communist system teaching me about the wrong history. Okay, about my father was defending freedom, but they say, oh, we're the enemies. My mom corrected everything. And you know what? If the neighbor hear that, she will be in the prison. My mom did not care. And I thank her. That's why I know I'm not brainwashed. And all Americans, if you don't do anything, New Hampshire, not just New Hampshire, America and the whole world is not going to be live free or die. It's going to be a lay down and die. Are you ready to lay down and die? No. You have to stand up. You have to be out here like these people here today. Don't be afraid. Not anymore. When the communists come, they take your guns. Right now, they grab all your children to become their soldiers. Okay? Do not lose your children. Do not become the machine to create babies. So the communist parties can use your babies to kill all of you and me. And I am not going to lay down. We survive communism, and we are here to tell all Americans, Democratic parties is a communist party, Marxist system. Get rid of them. Delete, delete, delete. Thank you.
Delete, delete.
God bless America.
Delete, delete, delete. Chow Kelly. There's somebody who knows. There's a person who knows. This critical race theory and these other things that the left is doing, that the left is engaging in, this is playing with fire. Unlike we've probably ever seen since 1776. Oh, yeah, we've been through the Revolutionary. I understand that. Revolutionary War, the Civil War. I get that. But how close are we to losing everything this country is? The left wants to take, they deny it, deny. We love the Constitution. They don't love the Constitution. They say it and they're disingenuous. You know they are. You know they are. That speech that Nancy Pelosi was ripping up behind Donald Trump at the State of the Union address last year, that could have well been the Constitution. She is the first one to say, we want everything to be by the Constitution. She lies. She hates the Constitution. She's as much as said so. Don't believe anything they say. I am telling you. It's a lie. It's corrupt. It's evil. They are destroying us. They are going to create another civil war. They're trying to create a civil war between the races. They love it. Critical race theory makes people hate each other, and they love it because it leads them closer and closer to the ultimate goal, the end, which is power and control. Absolutely. We'll be back. Stick around. We've got more speeches to get to. You're going to want to hear the next two. I'm telling you. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly cloudy with a chance for showers this morning for southern Maine and New Hampshire. Sunny breaks midday and this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s at the coast, 60s inland. Showers return this evening along with the chance for some thunderstorms. Scattered showers tomorrow, low to mid 50s. Showers continue into Friday but clear out for the weekend.
Welcome back. Freedom's Pep Rally. Your old buddy Johnny James here at your service. We love freedom. We love America. We want to keep America. I think we'll keep it just like we have it right now. What's it going to take? We don't know. We don't know at this point. We really don't know. You know, in the best case scenario, everybody would just suddenly come to their senses and say, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But they won't, because there is one small group of people that are doing all of this. They're doing all of this. They're making people angry. They're stoking the fears and the racism and the hate. There's one small group, and they are the control group. They are the people in high places. And it's, I hate to say it, but it's being allowed by the Republicans. I mean, we need some Republicans, some real Republican voices to get out there and talk smack about the Democrats. I mean, really talk smack about them. Well, I don't agree with what Chuck Schumer's doing. No, Chuck Schumer's an idiot. Chuck Schumer's an idiot. He should be tried and convicted of going against the Constitution, of not upholding his oath of office. We need some Republicans where is Matt Gaetz? Where are some of these where is Jim Jordan? These great voices, they are great voices. They speak truth, but where are they? Go out there and call him an idiot. Who cares about decorum? Screw decorum. This is America we've got to save. Screw decorum. It's out the window. Call it like it is. Call it like Donald Trump called it. They hated that. That's what we need. We need more Donald Trumps, and we don't have one. We do not have one. Matt Gaetz, I don't know what's going on with Matt Gaetz. Time will tell. Oh, of course, the mainstream media is raking him over the coals. They've got him guilty. I knew the minute they said yesterday on MSNBC, MSNBC, we have got a story about Matt Gaetz coming up. I knew it wasn't going to be good because they never report about anything good on Republicans. Never, ever. So there could be, they're looking into whether he took a 17-year-old on this trip and there was a deal with, I'm just over it. I am over the lies. I'm over the hate. And this group of people, the journalists, that's a laugh. They are not journalists. The faux news people, including Chuck Todd and all the rest of them, and you've got your elitists in Washington. They are doing this. They are lying. They are stoking hate. They are stoking racism. And they love it. They love it because it's pushing them closer and closer to that ultimate goal of utopia. This is what they're promising you. And the funny thing is, the idiots on the left, the peasants, the freaks out there who come back at you every time you say something they don't agree with, then they cut and run and leave. Those are the people who are ignorant. They've got their heads buried in the sand, and they may be book smart, but they're pretty numb when it comes to what America is and what our future holds. Pretty numb. However, the people in New Hampshire this past weekend are anything but numb. We got a couple more speeches here I want you to hear. Barbara from Harlem. She's a black woman. She's also an ordained minister from New York. This lady has passion beyond belief. And you ought to listen to her. And anybody on the left should listen to her. I know they'll walk. As soon as they heard she was a woman of God, I'm sure they said, yeah, screw that. Because they're godless. Many of them are godless. Here's Barbara from Harlem.
I'm so happy to be among patriots. Live free or die. That's the motto here. I didn't know much about this critical race theory. So I talked to my friend Kathy, and she sent me some information. And the information that she sent me, and I've been studying a little bit, I see that they tried to institute this in Russia in 1917. I see that Mao even did what he did, using young people that would even shame their parents. This is America. We were founded on Judeo-Christian values, principles, ethics, and God has blessed this nation. This is not the time for us to turn our backs, run and find a hole to hide in. This is a time to stand. Stand against the evil that is before us. Stand against this godlessness that they're trying to rip and tear and destroy our civil society. We will not stand by and let them turn this into a communist cesspool. It is time for us to motivate parents to get up off that couch, turn off that television, Go to those schools. Meet those teachers. Get on that school board. Be proactive. And not let them destroy our children and turn them into monsters and freaks. That's what they're trying to do. Because these people are godless. Critical. What is so critical about this? You know, we have to take these words apart. Critical race theory. A theory is something that's unproven. You can't prove it. You know, my take on CRT is crazy radical trash. That's what I call it. That's all this is. The crazies who hate God. And for you out there whose skin color is not mine, don't let them tell you that God made a mistake when he made you the color he made you. God didn't make any mistake. See, these people are godless. These people hate God. They hate the founding of this country. They won't leave. Because if you have a problem with race in America, and 76% of the population happens to be white, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? They hate capitalism, but they'll buy property. They don't make sense. As they breathe, people, they lie. The Democratic Party is no longer a party that represents you, that represents me. They represent all of those isms that don't represent God. Socialism, Marxism, communism, secular humanism. All of those things eliminate God. And that's what they're trying to do, eliminate God. But my friends, let's eliminate them.
I don't want to interrupt her speech, but Barbara, would you agree with me that the biggest racist in the country, it's the Democratic Party. They started the KKK. Critical race theory was started by black professors in the 1960s to infuse the allegation of racism throughout the United States, and it got into our agencies to demonize white people, and that's evil. The Democrats are the biggest racists in this country.
Absolutely. And also James Cone with that black liberation theology. All of that is racist. They started all of that, but you know, they listened to Saul Alinsky when he says rub the resentments of people in the community, make them dissatisfied. Well, you know the biggest problem in our community? Our children don't have fathers. They're walking around with unresolved anger because they've been abandoned. Many of them don't even have a father's name on their birth certificate. I know it because I saw it. I saw it as when I was the director of family daycare. I saw birth certificates where the father's name should be, and there was a blank. I closed my office door and laid my head on my desk and cried like a baby. What child, as they grow, wants a birth certificate where the father's name is not there? I saw that in living color. So they've taken that resentment. We have over 73% of black babies born without a daddy. Dysfunctional families. I worked in Harlem for many years with those children. I understand them because that's why they're so angry. It's a lot of unresolved anger. So Saul Alinsky taught his band of godless heathens, target them, target black people. They're a good prey because they come from broken families. Make them feel that you care about them and you understand their resentment. But then what they did, they twisted it and said, you feel this way because of slavery. They never let black people forget about slavery. Never. And they want you to feel bad like you're slave owners. You know, that used to bother me. I said, slave owners have been dead for many years. They answered to God.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why should I hate dead people?
Amen.
Then when I read the Bible and got more involved with the Bible, read the story about Joseph, Joseph told his brothers, you may have sold me into slavery, but what you meant for evil, God meant for good.
Amen. Barbara from Harlem right there. Amazing. And didn't she speak truth? She was interrupted by another woman there who is also black, by the way, saying that Democrats are the racists. So what say you, Democrats? What say you when all of these Democrats of sound mind come out and call you racist and call your critical race theory edicts nonsense? Call it racist on its face. Say you're stoking hatred, you're stoking racism. All of these smart, intelligent, well-grounded people. And who do you have out there? Who are the rioters out there on the streets screaming and yelling, chanting and throwing bottles at police and shooting people in big cities, Democrat strongholds every single week? Chicago, Portland, Seattle, New York, Los Angeles, every weekend, especially on the weekends. What say you to that? Crickets? Don't deny these people don't have a great voice. They are minority people, and they have no problem telling you where the bear in the woods. Somebody needs to. Somebody with credentials needs to. These people have the credentials. So we've got one more. Her name is Rayla Campbell. Rayla is a former congressional candidate in Massachusetts. She is also currently running for something we don't have here in Maine. She is running for the Bay State's lieutenant governor position. And listen to what she says. And there are parts of what she says. You'll think she took some of her speech out of the John James playbook, because some of the things she says, I have said many, many times. Here is Rayla Campbell.
I come here today to stand up for the voices of all of us, all of New Hampshire, all of Massachusetts, because you know what? We come from the states where it all started. We come from the state where liberty was born, where freedom was born. And why is it that they want to take our children and put critical race theory as a message to teach our children how to be racist? We come from a country where we've fought against racism, especially in Massachusetts, where Irish need not apply, no guineas allowed, no niggers allowed. That's how it was. And you know what? We overcame, because where did we go? We worked on the train tracks. We worked at the boat stations, all together, all united as one. Because guess what? We were all the poor people, weren't we? We didn't see color. So why are they trying to pit us against each other now?
You know why.
We need to be making sure that we're protecting our children, that we're protecting our Constitution, that we're protecting our history. Learn it, don't burn it. It is more than words can even say when we talk about the hate that is coming from the other side. The evil, and that's what it is. It is evil. We are in a battle of good versus evil. God's children, all right here, versus the devils that are out there trying to persuade us that we're the evil ones, that we're the racists, when they know deep down inside that's their own projection.
They're projecting. They're projecting.
I come from one of the most Irish towns in America. And I grew up in the projects in this town. It was Section 8 and low-income housing. And we were all of different backgrounds. My family was just like every other family. We were poor and we needed help to get to the next level. We needed a level up, not a handout. It's a hand up is what we needed. My mom worked so hard, and I was one of the only families that had sugar cereals. So everybody was coming over to Rayla's house to get some Lucky Charms. And my mom would get so mad at me for feeding the other children, for giving our food to people that needed it. I couldn't understand why. And she would look at other people as they're white trash. They're poor. They're poorer than you. Like, seriously? We all live in the same neighborhood. And she wouldn't let me go over one of my best friend's houses because she lived above a convenience store that sold alcohol. We live in Situate, Mom. Seriously. Nobody's going to get shot, robbed, or killed. It's not going to happen. So I always gave back. In my neighborhood, we stood together. That's why they called us the Village Kids. So even though we were from all different backgrounds, they knew that we were the Project Kids, and you better watch out because they'll all go after everybody. We didn't see skin color. All we saw was red, white, and blue. We need to be teaching our children to love this country, to honor and respect our elders, bringing God back into life. That's what God in schools, this stuff that they are teaching. Why are you teaching children who do not see skin color at all how to be racist? That itself is racism. My children are mixed. They are majority Irish, and they're also Scottish because I have 9% Scot. How nice is that? Yeah, I can yell freedom! But why should my children have to go to school and take a test where they have to pit whether mommy or daddy is better when both mommy and daddy both grew up in the Dorchester, Mission Hill, Mattapan projects?
How about that?
How does that make them different? It doesn't. And for people to say that to us shows that they just want to divide us. They want to hurt us because we are strong. We are patriots. We are the United States. And we are showing everybody out there what we're all about with the diversity that we have, with the strong message of Americans first. We need to be taking care of us at home and making sure we're protecting our people here first. We have so many problems going on in the world that we do not need to be teaching our children how to be racist. We need to be teaching our children how to give back, how to do God's work, how to go out and give back to your community and to help and to heal. That's what we need to be doing. But instead, we have people out there that are trying to divide us worse than any other nation has ever done in history. Look at it. They are coming back in and they are doing exactly what they say that we are. They call us Nazis. They call us white supremacists. They call us, oh, I'm a Russian spy. Did you guys know that? Black Russian. They call us all these things because that's what they are. And they're afraid. They're afraid because we have blended. We have shown what the American dream is. And we're going to continue to do that. And that's why we need people to get up there, vote for the people that speak to you, that speak for Americans, that speak for our values, liberty, opportunity, and freedom for all.
Wow. Rayla Campbell of Massachusetts. Another great black voice against critical race theory. The event was called the Rally to Stop Critical Race Theory Indoctrination, Saturday in New Hampshire. Get the whole video of the event at rightamericamedia.com. Go to rightamericamedia.com or go to Right America Media's Facebook page or YouTube channel. They were there. They filmed the whole thing. It was great. And, and tonight we're going to have a speech by our commander-in-chief. These people, by the way, there were no teleprompters. There was nothing. These people were shooting from the hip. How much more real and awesome, how much more awesome American freedom can you get than the speakers you've just heard here on this show? And tonight you've got the guy, oh, men, women created equal. How do you know the thing? That's our leader. One of these women who you just heard should be our leader. I would vote for any one of them over Joe Biden for president today. Today. Get Kamala and Joe out of there. Goodbye, losers. Goodbye, anti-American tyrants. Goodbye, Marxist communists. Hello, freedom-loving people. They're what we need. What we have now in Washington, D.C. is just what we don't need. Get rid of the filth. The election was rigged. I'll never stop believing that. There are counts going on now. There's one going on in Arizona. There could well be one in Michigan. There could well be one in New Hampshire. Yes, New Hampshire. We may get to that next hour. We do have to take a break here, though. We're running very late. I apologize for that, but we've covered a lot of ground here. We'll be right back. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Have adventurous plans this spring? You're going to need a Jeep. So head to Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep to save on new Jeep vehicles during their Jeep Celebration event. Now through the end of April. Shop online at HaightChryslerDodgeJeep.com or stop by 507 Lakewood Road, Clowes Corner, Madison.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
Us hardworking men still want to look our best. That's why you need to head to Penny's Barber Shop. You'll get an excellent haircut, straight edge neck shave, and a hot towel wrap, all for only $18.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I know what you're looking for when it comes to a great haircut and shave. From traditional styles to new ones, we listen to our customers because we have done it all.
When you look good, you feel good. So call Penny's Barbershop to set up an appointment today at 380-6224. Penny's Barbershop, 173 State Street in Augusta, next to Enterprise.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly cloudy with a chance for showers this morning for southern Maine and New Hampshire. Sunny breaks midday and this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s at the coast, 60s inland. Showers return this evening along with the chance for some thunderstorms. Scattered showers tomorrow, low to mid 50s. Showers continue into Friday but clear out for the weekend.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. The Supreme Court today hears arguments in a free speech case involving a high school student who cursed out her school on social media after she didn't make the cheerleading squad. She was off school grounds, but the school punished her anyway. She sued. Now it's before the justices. India is struggling to contain coronavirus cases. Well over 300,000 new cases every day. ABC's James Longman says over 200,000 people have died.
In New Delhi, the horror out in the open. Makeshift crematoriums. The lines of ambulances carrying the dead seem endless. But help is on the way. The UK flying in ventilators and oxygen contractors to battle the infection, with the US following suit. President Biden pledging his steadfast support, saying he intends to send vaccines to stem the surge.
There's a court hearing today on the police body cam video released in Andrew Brown's shooting death. North Carolina sheriff's deputies released only 30 seconds of the deputy-involved shooting to the family. This is ABC News. A verdict is expected in a few days in the trial of two California teenagers accused of killing a police officer in Italy.
These boys made significant mistakes that night.
Says the lawyer for one of the two young Americans on trial for the stabbing death of a Rome police officer in the summer of 2019. Those mistakes, says lawyer Craig Peters, were buying drugs and carrying a knife. The two Californians, Finnegan Lee Elder and Gabriel Natale Horth, say when undercover cops approached them, they didn't identify that they were cops, and the teens, now in their 20s, thought they were drug dealers and fought back, killing one officer. The two men have been in jail here in Rome for almost 2 years. The jury begins deliberations next week. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
And a popular website about food is saying no to any new recipes that include beef. The editors of Epicuria say it's a stand on climate change, calling meat production one of the world's worst climate offenders. They do say current meat recipes will stay up. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Start with everyone whose mom was even more superhuman than usual this past year, like super duper human. Now narrow it down to those who want to show their appreciation but haven't quite found the time to get a Mother's Day gift. For you, there's Walgreens with Hallmark cards, fragrances, and personalized photo gifts you can create and pick up the same day. Personalized? Ooh, she'll love that. Shop Walgreens for gifts she'll love in an instant.
This week, get up to 60% off photo gifts. Offer good through 5/22. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/photo for details.
It's spring. Time to take in a breath of fresh savings on appliances at the Home Depot's Spring Savings event. In-store, online, all season long. Save on top appliances from top brands. Plus, get free and flexible delivery on any appliance $396 or more. From cooking and cleaning to washing and drying. Your timing couldn't be better. Bring on spring with the Spring Savings event now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through April 28th.
Howdy. All right, final hour of Freedom's Pep Rally. I'm John James, your host at Legacy1160.com. If you're not listening on the radio, 24/7 audio stream, powered by the Harry J. Smith Company on Sanger Avenue in Waterville. And we also have the video stream going during the Mike Violet Show and my show, happening at YouTube, at Legacy1160.com, at Facebook, a whole bunch of pages, including the Legacy page, Right America Media, American Women Who Bear Arms, Freedom's Pep Rally with John James, and there are other outlets too. You can find us. Today at 4 o'clock, softball with Mike Violet is your call-by-call, play-by-play announcer. Call-by-call, play-by-play. Most of the same thing, right? Softball, Madison at Waterville, 4 o'clock. Carried on this radio station, and you can listen live to that. No video. Be listening live at Legacy1160.com or on your radio. And there you have it. And I will, tonight, 9 o'clock, I will be filling in again for my friend Keith Hansen, who has the night off on the Keith Hansen Show, which is on Right America Media, K-Star Media, which I guess is a satellite thing. I don't know. I know it's carried by a bunch of stations across the country, so I'm quite pleased to be able to fill in for Keith. I really appreciate him giving me that opportunity to help out for a few days here. Time right now is 11:06, and let's get to some of the other pertinent stuff that is going on. We know there is pertinent stuff going on. I've just got to. I've got too many mice here. I've got red mice and blue mice and black. I got Black Mice Matter. So we've got them all here at Legacy 1160 WSKW. Let's see. Naomi Wolf. I want to mention that again. Naomi Wolf is going to be in Augusta tonight at Capitol Park, 6 o'clock. If you want to check her out, she's been all over the place. She's been on Fox News a lot lately, sounding the alarm about vaccine passports. Vaccine passports, bad. Bad. Find out how tonight. Has a lot to do with the fact that these are going to be digital passports like the one in New York, the Excelsior Pass, and the deplorable Governor Andrew Cuomo says to re-enter society, you'll have to show your credentials. Yeah, this is where it's going, folks. I'm telling you right now, this is where it's going. They are using COVID-19 to test the waters for their ultimate goal. It's all of me. That's one of the means to an end. I forgot COVID-19 and the lockdowns and the passports and the masking and Yeah, Governor Mills, how nice was she yesterday? She said, well, you don't have to mask when you're outdoors anymore if you've been vaccinated. My question was, you had to mask outdoors? Had I known, I still wouldn't have. Arrest me. Come get me. Now, I never wore a mask outdoors. Just got to check a text. I never know if it's coming from the radio station. I don't know where that came from. Must be a spam. All right. So, Joe Biden speaking tonight, 9 o'clock, if he can stay up that late. Going to be talking about the American Families Plan. Republicans think it's too much money. Democrats think it's not enough. And Larry Kudlow, the former Trump economic advisor and Fox Business host, said yesterday that rumors of Biden's tax plan has galvanized the Democrat socialist wing of the party. They love this. Don't tell me Joe Biden's a moderate. Why does the leftist AOC said we're going to be able to push Biden as far left as we want him to go. She said we'll be able to push him left. She said those words. Those are the words. I don't have her saying it, but she said it. I can find it if you want. I can prove everything I tell you right now. So they're very happy. So what's that mean? That means he's moving to the social side of the spectrum just fine because he's an old, decrepit man who just wants to make everybody in his party happy. He wants to do everything he's told. You talk about compliant. I mean, not only does the left have a compliant base, but they now have a compliant president. I mean, that's how powerful these people are. This is a Larry Kudlow speaking. This is redistribution, assault on investment, and it makes left-wing ideology. I will say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is correct. It makes left-wing ideology, the progressive left, has won Biden's heart. That's all you need to know. The progressive left has won Joe Biden's heart. Well, there you go. That's all you need to hear. You want to hear some real truth? This could offend some people now. Easy now. I don't want you to, don't shoot the messenger. It's not me talking. This is Bronx Tina. Bronx Tina is the truth-telling mother effing machine, to use her kind of language. She's going to talk to you leftists. Bronx Tina is going to talk to you. She's become a national social media hero to people who are awake and who see what's going on in the world around them, people like us. While the left walks around unaware of what's actually happening in their country, except for their tiny sliver of social justice interests, people with common sense like us look at the bigger picture. We see the writing on the wall. We see what's going on for what it is. It's all lies, it's smoke, it's mirrors. When it comes to why blue states are now losing representation, Bronx Tina nails it. While the progressives continue to wander around dazed and confused in some kind of a social justice trance. So this is Bronx Tina. It's been edited. It's been very well edited, but you know what she's saying. But you really ought to hear it. And if you're a leftist, you got to hear this. This is more truth.
So I'm just wondering, as I'm sitting here, all these blue states that are losing House seats, what could it be? Hot demon rats? All the blue states. Could it be your far left policies that are so up it's driving everybody out of your state? Could it be the burning, looting, and rioting that started in the summer of 2020? Could it be that it's so unsafe to live in a blue state with your defunding the police policies? Could it be the high motherfucking taxes? Huh? And all you people that are sitting there with your vaccinations, how does it feel to be vaccinated and still wearing a mask, motherfucker? You thought you were getting your freedoms back? What a joke.
You know what? She minces no words. You got to give her credit for that. She minces no words. I'm sure somewhere some poor radio guy saw, Bronx Tina's made another statement and just clicked on it and played it on the air and probably just got fired. I've learned caution over the years. I have. I assume, I don't care if it's, I wouldn't care if it's Mother Teresa, statement from Mother Teresa. I want to audition everything first before I play it on the air, because you never know what somebody's going to say. Yeah, Laurie, only 100 years. Wow. Yeah, 100, about 100 years. They've actually set us back 1619, 400 years, a little over 400 years. Because now that's when we're supposed to believe that America started, slavery started, and we're responsible and we owe reparations and everything else. Yeah, the progressive is such a misnomer. It's such a hypocritical term, because it means, and just like everything the Democratic left says, it means just the opposite of what they say. Everything they say is projecting themselves onto you. So when they call themselves progressives, meaning they're making progress, it's reflecting back on you. Although I would never call myself a progressive, we are making progress. We have made a great deal of progress in the 44 years since the Declaration of Independence was signed. We've made a lot of progress in a good way. They are taking us back, Laurie. They are taking us back. And they don't even realize that what they say sounds so stupid to the person who's really, really paying attention. They don't understand how hypocritical they sound, because they don't think they sound hypocritical. They aren't all that intelligent when it comes to stating an opinion. And they say, well, you have the facts. When they're the ones that don't have the facts. You ask them for facts, you know what they do? They'll post an MSNBC story or a CNN story or a story from Salon or Huffington Post. That's what they do. So there's a recount going on, and there could be more to come. Democrats are upset. They don't like this at all. Arizona's Attorney General, according to Populist Press, has brushed away the state's top election officials' call for an investigation into possible irregularities in the legislative chamber's newly begun audit of 2020 election results from the state's most populous county, which is Maricopa. Secretary of State, who's a Democrat, Katie Hobbs, on April 23rd, she cited media reports of security lapses at the audit site and the auditor's plans to question Maricopa County voters in their homes. However, Mark Brnovich, who is the Republican Attorney General, Friday said Hobbs provided no facts to warrant an investigation into the recount. Valid complaints. I'm going to stay stay focused, John. Stay focused. All right. Valid complaints will be investigated, Brnovich told Hobbs. Any such complaints, however, must be based on credible facts, not conjecture of politics. Now, if that were a Democrat Attorney General, they would have said, stop it right now. It's because they will do anything to win. They'll do anything to win a fight, even if it means cheat. Or they'll change the rules midstream. What? Are you kidding me? Yeah, they will change the rules midstream, just like they always change the rules. They always change the rules. During the impeachment During the first Trump impeachment, they changed the rules. Where were they? They were holding meetings. They were holding their hearings in a secret skiff where nobody was invited. Nobody dare. No representatives of the people dare come in while we excoriate your president. They changed the rules. They don't care about the Constitution. You've got to accept that. You've got to understand it. And then you can put it aside knowing they don't care about the Constitution, so you don't have to go looking every time you think that sounds unconstitutional. Because when you think that, it probably is, but it doesn't matter because they don't care. So that might save you a little time. Just know that right up front. The audit in Maricopa County includes a recount of the 2.1 million ballots cast, a forensic audit of the voting machines, and follow-up interviews with voters. That's covering the bases right there. The review is taking place in Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, subject of litigation filed by Democrats. This whole recount is. They argue it violates state election security laws, and Cyber Ninjas, the company doing this, is asking to keep its methods secret. How about that? They don't want this. Now, see, this is why. Because they are doing it right. They're covering the bases. They're actually going to the voters. They're actually going to interview voters. It doesn't matter that people who were voters who testified under, signing an affidavit. By the way, that drives me crazy. Whenever you hear somebody say affidavit, smack them for me, would you? It's affidavit. There's a T at the end, not a D. It's not David. It's not like David and Goliath. It's not. It's like David's bridle. So we'll see what happens. They're going to talk to the voters. They're going to do that electronic audit, a forensic audit, they call it, and let the cards fall where they may. And I'll guarantee you right now, if it turns out that they can't find any wrongdoing, well, you know what? What are you going to do? You've got the right team doing it, apparently. It seems to be. What are you going to do? I guess you accept it and move on, right? Because at some point you got to accept something and move on. But to this point, they've given us no reason to accept something because they've refused every step of the way to have anything looked at. Courts have refused. The Supreme Court refused to look at it. So if they find large-scale corruption and voter fraud in Arizona, which I would be surprised if they don't find something. I don't know how big a scale it'll be, but I'll be surprised if they don't find something in Donald Trump's favor. But if they find a big contrast between votes that Joe Biden allegedly received and the number he actually received in Maricopa County, I think you're going to see other places being forced to do recounts, or they are going to face the wrath of Republican voters everywhere. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, any one of these things could lead to some sort of civil unrest. We'll see what happens and what the response is. At this point, the election is done. Biden's been called the winner. You can't change that, as Ray Parker Jr. once well said or sang. But you sure as heck can change things going forward. Now, is there a Michigan audit coming? Well, this is interesting now. This firm, Cyber Ninjas, hired by Arizona's Republican-led Senate, is now is now set to play a role in a lawsuit in Michigan. A judge in the ever-expanding Michigan case, which also focused on the 2020 election, is also focused on that. They said on Monday that the Florida-based cyber ninjas will be allowed to offer a rebuttal to a report that reaffirmed that human error, not Dominion Voting Systems machine software, led to early tabulation errors in Antrim County. So what they're trying to do is avoid a recount in Michigan. They're trying to avoid that at all costs. Now, they see the writing on the wall. So what are they doing? What are they doing behind the scenes to destroy evidence? I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know, but they know it's coming now. They're seeing what's going on in Arizona. Depending on what happens in Arizona, I think what goes ahead next is going to be very interesting. And New Hampshire. The Wyndham Board of Selectmen held a public meeting to discuss their choice of an analyst for the forensic audit team that will investigate the largest discrepancy between machine and hand counts for any election in the history of New Hampshire. So you have, wow, something's going on. Something is going on. So in New Hampshire, the biggest discrepancy in history between machine count and hand count. Now, the meeting was already shrouded in controversy when the town administrator announced 13 days ago that this meeting would be held in a non-public session, when legally there were no grounds to qualify it for the secrecy. And there was such an outcry to the decision to hide the deliberations from the public that the selectmen's phone lines and email inboxes were flooded by outraged citizens. So as a result, a week ago today, the selectmen reversed the misguided choice and announced that the meeting would be held in public. So let's see what happens there. Now, I know there's no big potatoes in New Hampshire, but still, Maine either for that matter. But still, I mean, all of these things indicate problems. And I don't care how small the tally of electoral votes is, they need to be looked at. Every single one of them. Meanwhile, the socialists keep on pushing away. Pushing. Pocahontas. Who could he be talking about? Pocahontas. She was a Native American. Yes, she was. No insult to Pocahontas, but I'm talking about Elizabeth Warren. Oh, she's a piece of work. You've got to read Peter Schweitzer's book, Profiles in Corruption. She's in there. She's corrupt. She's about as corrupt as they come. So is Bernie Sanders. So is Joe Biden. Oh, boy, is Joe Biden. Oh, Joe Biden's such a nice guy, such a moderate. You don't know him too well, do you, man? So the wheels of socialism keep turning faster and faster and faster like a speeding train. Soon there won't be anything the federal government isn't promising to give you. Oh, and me too. Me too. Me too. Wow. They're so nice. Aren't they? They are so nice. The federal government, they are so cool. They're cool, man. They want to give us stuff. I like presents. Why do you think the left wins elections? Rush Limbaugh said it when Obama won his second term. When Obama won his second term, Rush Limbaugh nailed it, and I've never forgotten this. And I am going to echo and also credit the late anchor's creation and his phrase when he says, everybody loves a Santa Claus. How right was that? Who Who doesn't like free stuff? Who doesn't like gifts? Who doesn't love a Santa Claus? Why? Why do you think the Democrats win elections? Free stuff. Free. Free for free. By the way, TurboTax is not free. I will tell you that. I've used it. So, let me give you a non-comprehensive list of things the Democrats have said they want to pay for from the presidential campaign to now. Healthcare, can we do a song? Healthcare and housing and internet, college, universal income, child care too. These are the things that they will give to you. Pocahontas is ready to. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad, was it? You like that? That was good. Thank you. I don't give myself much credit. I am going to credit myself for that, though. Okay, so let's listen. Let's listen to what Pocahontas is doing here. This is new. You're going to love this.
Let me describe what our plan does and why it takes $700 billion over 10 years to get this done. $700 billion. What's that? We're talking about child care for every single child in America. And you and everybody. Our whole plan is about understanding first the problem and then working from that to what it will take to meet that Pocahontas. Problem. As I see it, we have plenty of ways to pay for this. We could do it with a wealth tax. We can do it with a real corporate profits tax. We can do it by stepping up enforcement on those who aren't paying their taxes right now.
Oh, boy. How easy was that? Look at that. Problem solved, Polka. I call her Polka. Only $700 billion. Easy peasy. Tax. Then use the IRS to incite fear among the masses by stepping up enforcement, increasing audits. In other words, ballooning our behemoth government into an even larger size. Oh, boy. Which will also need more taxes to pay for, by the way. I mean, why on earth should parents be on the hook to pay for their own children when you have such a compassionate, albeit evil and corrupt government? Why? No, she's not just talking about low-income people who need help. She's talking about everybody, because that is true socialism. One is welfare, the other is socialism. What do you think Pocahontas wants? Well, I think you know. Go away, Pocahontas, go away. And again, my apologies to the real Pocahontas. I mean no disrespect to your memory. And, there's a warning for parents and grandparents. Think before you sit your kids down in front of Nickelodeon. They used to be a safe place for kids to kick back and watch some harmless, albeit dumb shows. Hey Dude, Clarissa Explains It All. Clarissa wasn't she in Sabrina? I always thought she was kind of cute, actually. So there was that. There was a Family Double Dare. Isn't that the one with the slime? I think it was. We went to a Universal show one time, and I think one of my kids, or both of them maybe, got slimed. They had Salute Your Shorts. They had shows like that. However, in this day and age of wokeness, you can't be too woke if you're in entertainment. So climate change and racial justice are being force-fed to your kids when your back is turned, letting them watch Nickelodeon. Listen to a little bit of this piece that they put out on Earth Day. This is Nickelodeon.
Black snow, the thick soot that pollutes Pahokee, Florida. There's Cancer Alley, which is an area along the Mississippi River in Louisiana that's lined with oil refineries, and air so toxic in New York's South Bronx that 20% of children have asthma. What do these cities have in common? They're all examples of environmental racism, a form of systemic racism, where minority and low-income communities are surrounded by health hazards because they live near sewage, mines, landfills, power stations, major roads. In Philadelphia, it's hazardous waste.
All right. Where do I start? It's a form of systemic racism. Okay, so apparently only minorities have problems with pollution in big cities. So, wow. What do you do? Well, you try to get your area to clean things up a little bit. Number one. Number two, you can move. And number three, not all people with these problems are minorities. So where is the racism? Oh, it's not racist if you're white, only if you're a minority. Excuse me? That's Nickelodeon. That's Nickelodeon indoctrinating your kids. Isn't it good to know that? Isn't it good to know you've got another place to avoid climate racism? Way to take two narratives and put them into one piece. Good job, Nick. That's awesome. You're awesome, Nickelodeon. We got to take a break. We'll be back with a whole bunch more. This is just, I mean, this is a treasure trove of, we just got a treasure trove of things to talk about here because it truly is never ending. I've even got some radical, what is my nickname for her? Oh, isn't that awful? Raging Racist Reed. Yeah, Joy Reed, she goes off on tangents. She is the gift that keeps on giving, that big mouth. I'm telling you, every day there is something, I've got something in my inbox with Joy Reed's name on it. Every day she says something racist on her show because she is a racist. And we've got some of it coming up here on Legacy 1160. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Spring is the time for renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color in a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
Do you have itchy, irritated, or burning eyes? You may be experiencing dry eye syndrome. Contact Kennebec Eye Care and let them help find a solution to the problem. When we concentrate on activities like reading, driving, and computers, we blink less, which reduces the amount of tears on the surface of the eye. An exam with Kennebec Eye Care will identify what's causing the issue and how to best treat it. Schedule an appointment today by calling 872-2797. Kennebec Eye Care, your sight specialists, 216 Main Street in Waterville, and online at KennebecEyeCare.com.
This is Molly from Rod Cyclin RV. We're about a year into the pandemic, and we're all searching for some sort of normalcy. Picture yourself sitting by the campfire with friends and family, your favorite drink in hand, sharing stories and laughing. I bet you thought of a specific night. We want to help you find your normal. We have a large selection of new and pre-loved travel trailers and fifth wheels, fully stocked parts store, and the best camper service around. Rod Cyclin RV, Route 201 Madison, or online at rodcycleandrv.com. We're not trying to be the biggest, but always trying to be the best.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mostly cloudy with a chance for showers this morning for southern Maine and New Hampshire. Sunny breaks midday and this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s at the coast, 60s inland. Showers return this evening along with the chance for some thunderstorms. Scattered showers tomorrow, low to mid 50s. Showers continue into Friday but clear out for the weekend.
Welcome back. I'm John James. Thank you so much for being here. Really. Thank you for the comments. Alani, yeah, I hear you. Take care of your own children. Stay home with them if you can. And your husband working hard, I certainly get that. And I appreciate that and say rather than have them indoctrinated in schools, I'm really right there with you on that. Good for you. Laurie, I had not heard that. Rose McGowan has disavowed the liberals. Rose McGowan is she's always been a renegade when it comes to Hollywood people. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that she has done that. I'll have to look for that piece. Thank you for that, by the way. And who else we got? Cameron. Hello, Cameron. Welcome to the show. And thank you, Rick. Good morning, Rick. I haven't been looking so much at the comments this morning, but I appreciate it. Everybody can see them now anyway, because I've got it on the live feed if you're watching the video. So there is that. Gun control to be decided by the Supreme Court. What am I talking about? Gun control. Well, I'm talking about concealed carry. Maybe this is new to you. Maybe you haven't heard about this. This story from WND. Reporter Owen Jensen from EWTN asked the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Tuesday to address a statement from the United States. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's a different story. That's important too. Okay, we'll get to the. I don't know what happened there. I had something on my screen and now something different. No, You're going to want to hear this. This is good. I'm glad we're getting to this because it gives me a chance to call out people who are in favor of killing babies. People like, I don't know, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The two of them are. So, EWTN reporter Owen Jensen asked Jen Psaki yesterday, to address a statement from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops which condemned Joe Biden's decision to reverse Donald Trump's ban on using aborted fetal tissue for taxpayer-funded research. Now, here's the way I look at it, okay? You may agree with me, you may not. The way I look at it is if a person of sound mind and body donates their body to science, then we have at it. There you go. A lot of people do that. A lot of people donate their remains to colleges, medical colleges. That's fine. That's fine. Personal choice, right? But this is inarguable. Don't argue with me. Don't argue. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to shut you down, man. A baby, a fetus, is inarguably a human being who cannot make the decision to donate their body to science. So if you're going to use aborted fetal tissue to do your research, then I would say that is double decimation. No, I'm sorry, single decimation. The first one is murder, and the second one is decimation of a corpse. Right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Does that sound dumb? That's the way I look at it. But Joe Biden's for it. Kamala Harris. Oh, no. I got no problem with it. I've got no problem with it. But do you have a problem with Tara Reid saying that Joe Biden raped her? Tara who? Tara who? So Here's the deal from the EWTN reporter. It's unethical to promote and subsidize research that can lead to legitimizing the violence of abortion. That's what the reporter, he quoted Archbishop Joseph F. Nauman of Kansas City, chairman of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, Committee for Pro-Life Activities. Researchers have demonstrated that we can do effective scientific research and develop efficacious, here's a good word for you, efficacious clinical treatments without harvesting tissue from aborted babies, without decimating their murdered corpses. He went on, it's also deeply offensive to millions of Americans for our tax dollars to be used for research that collaborates with an industry built on taking innocent lives. So here's Jen Psaki stumbling through her answer before quickly moving on. No, that's nice, but that's not it. Here's Jen Psaki.
Look, I think the White House respectfully disagrees, and we believe that it's important to invest in science and look for opportunities to cure diseases, and I think that's what this is hopeful to do. Go ahead.
Next. Next. I'm just going to let that simmer for a minute. Jen Psaki gets a little uncomfortable when you're trying to stand up for the murder of mama's innocent babies, isn't it? Am I right, Jenny? Jenny from the block. 11:45 right now, Legacy 1160 WSKW. John Kerry, double standards. If he had no standards, if he had a standard, I don't know. I tried to, that was a failure. Sorry, big fail right there. So John Kerry, hi, I'm John Forbes Kerry. I'm richer than you. I'm smarter than you. And I am the climate envoy. And if you don't believe in climate change, shut up. I don't want to hear you. Did I tell you I'm rich and smarter than you? Because I'm John Forbes Kerry. Why such a long face, John? New York Times reported this week that Special Presidential Envoy on Climate and former Secretary of State John Kerry leaked classified Israeli military information to one of its biggest foes, Iran. So where's the media outcry? In fact, where is the media coverage on this at all? Have you seen anything on this? Crickets. Anybody on the left, if you're listening, you don't even know John Kerry's in hot water, do you? No, because they don't want you to know that. This is something your chosen media doesn't want you to know. Chuck Todd doesn't want you to know. So he's keeping it quiet. Donald Trump Jr. joined Glenn Beck on his show yesterday to discuss the allegations against John Forbes Kerry and the corporate media's blatant hypocrisy and the left's double standards. If this had been Donald J. Trump doing something like this, the ruling class and the media would be all over it. Right, Donald Trump Jr.?
I think you're saying it really well. I mean, it's sort of amazing what you can get away with if you're a Democrat. You know, I wrote the book about liberal privilege, but we're seeing it more and more every day. Whether it's John Kerry, whether it's Eric Swalwell sitting on the House Intelligence Committee while, I guess, it's okay for him to sleep with a Chinese spy.
Yeah.
It seems like a double standard. I would think, Glenn, that these people would lose their minds if someone in the Trump administration did this.
You think? You think they would? Seems like a double standard. Oh, you're so kind, Donald Trump Jr. You are so kind. Had it been your father, Donald Trump Jr., the president, and he had done something like John Kerry did, giving away Israel, the anti-Semitic, clearly anti-Semitic, I hate Israel, I'm John Forbes Kerry, and Jews suck. He might as well say that. He might as well say that. Giving Israel's secrets to their arch enemy, Iran. How about that? There you go. That's John Forbes Kerry, Mr. Longface, Mr. Climate Envoy. Oh, I'm glad we've got him. What would we do without a climate envoy who has no clue what the hell he's doing? Never has, never will, never accomplished anything. And now he's giving Israel secrets to Iran, it appears. Now, had Donald J. Trump been doing that, it would have been all over the news if it had been proven, and rightfully so. Should he have been impeached? Should Donald Trump be impeached if he did something like this? You bet. Anybody who does something like this should be impeached. But the fact is, they lied about Russian collusion. They knew they were lying, but they kept doing it anyway. Here's Donald Trump Jr.
100%. And it's not like it's a random occurrence. I mean, it's pretty clear that John Kerry has very close relationships with those in Iran in power. So this isn't like it's something that's surprising and out of the blue. I mean, these things are pretty well known. I'm pretty sure they would have talked about the various violations, whether Hatch Act or otherwise, of all of the things that he's been doing had he been a Republican. But because he's not, he's totally immune from any prosecution or criticism, even from a media who just refuses to do their stated job of their profession.
Yeah, well, their stated profession is news. The media is not news. It's not journalism. It is propaganda. CNN, they said so. It's people control. It's social engineering. It's dangerous. Meanwhile, now that Donald Trump is out of office, I've noticed that struggling CNN, an admitted propaganda outlet, well, that is actually CNN is the admitted propaganda outlet, and the known propaganda outlet, MSDNC, have turned their sights away from Biden. Nothing to pick on there. Their ratings are sinking. They have nothing to complain about. So they've turned all their attention to Fox News. Fox News. They are even saying it should be banned because they don't deserve free speech. They're evil and they're corrupt. They particularly focus on the network's star commentator, Tucker Carlson. Tucker, in their opinion, is dangerous and doesn't deserve freedom of speech. They are petulant children, these people. For example, Joyless Reed over at MSDNC. Media Busters says, it goes without saying, but MSNBC's Joy Reid has a serious problem having built a career fomenting disingenuous arguments and racial tension. Here is Joyless Reed, Raging Racist Reed, last night.
It's a new low even for Tucker Carlson of Fox News, who this week urged his viewers to harass and threaten parents and their children for wearing masks, and to use 911 and police to enforce his attempt to criminalize a piece of cloth. He thinks masks are like the pins North Koreans wear to show obedience to their leader. Never mind that he demands obedience from his followers, encouraging his Tucker mob to find you at the playground, the zoo, or inside a bouncy castle and interrogate you for making a personal choice about how to protect your kids. The thing is, this isn't really about masks, is it, Mr. Microwave Meals Air? Because we know, and Tucker, we think you know too, that conservatives are just really angry that they've lost control of American society and culture.
Yeah, really angry. Here's another Joy Reid out on MSDNC, where Reid and her leftist panel focus on Fox's Peter Doocy, who just happens to be a real journalist.
They have a White House reporter. correspondent, Peter Ducey. He couldn't go, and he likes to bug Jen Psaki all the time and get attention for himself. He couldn't go there and say, hey, what's this about Biden being the Hamburglar? And what's this about Kamala Harris's book being given to every poor migrant child? That's what you do. You report out a story. They don't even bother doing that anymore. It's insane.
Charlie Sykes, you tweeted out a thing. I mean, that a right-wing, 29-year-old wrote about how I'm not going to get vaccinated just because me not being vaccinated owns the libs and it makes them mad. It's like, baby, if you end up in the ER, I'm not the one who's going to be mad. You're the one who's going to be in the ER. You're the one who's going to be on a ventilator, not me.
Not me. Joy Reid. The gift that keeps on giving. Peter Ducey. Oh, and CNN, yeah. Admitted propaganda outlet CNN. They're all over Tucker Carlson. Not only Humpty Dumpty, Brian Stelter, who wrote a book about Fox News and hates Tucker Carlson because he's jealous of him, because Tucker actually has viewers and Tucker actually has talent. So Brian Stelter, Humpty Dumpty, is very jealous. And of course, CNN is all about Fox News now that there is nothing else in the news to talk about in regards to they can't talk about Joe Biden. No, that's off limits. Jeff Zucker says, no, that's off limits. You leave Joe alone. Find something else to talk about. So they found Fox News.
Today, we are expecting the federal government to loosen guidance for mask wearing outdoors, especially for people who are fully vaccinated. Welcome news and science-based, since doctors say transmission is significantly lower outdoors. But Fox's chief public health officer is using the moment to encourage confrontations over masks. This is what he's shoveling to his millions of viewers.
Angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind the gauze. How could you? That's the question we should be asking of them in return. The rest of us should be snorting at them first. They're the aggressors. It's our job to brush them back and restore the society we were born in. So the next time you see someone in a mask on the sidewalk or on the bike path, do not hesitate. Ask politely but firmly, would you please take off your mask?
That's funny.
Science shows there is no reason for you to be wearing it. Your mask is making me uncomfortable.
That's funny.
He is telling his viewers to confront people who are wearing masks outdoors, to harass them. And he's doing this as people who have been following and promoting CDC guidance on masks thus far have already been harassed.
Okay, so she thinks by being serious that people aren't going to laugh at the absurdity in that news story. Tucker Carlson is doing no such thing. That was nothing. I mean, what propaganda, what lies does CNN and MSNBC push every single day? If people do go out and ask people, take off your mask, it offends me. So what if somebody does that? How about you inciting violence across America over the George Floyd killing? With fires, police killings, shootings going up, police being defunded, cities being occupied and taken over, courthouses bombed. Well, no, Tucker Carlson's worse. He told people to ask kids to take their masks off. How lame has media gotten? And this, your smart friends, your intellectual friends who are smarter than you, this is what they like? This is what they watch? Oh, they may have been smart at one point, but they are being dumbed down really, really quick, methinks. Oh, that's going to do it. That's going to be the end of the show. I'm not going to be able to get to the... We'll do that tomorrow, the Second Amendment thing. I do want to talk about the Supreme Court and the decision they're going to be making. They're going to be hearing this later on this year. It's pretty big stuff. So I definitely want to talk about it. We've got the news coming up next. And then, of course, we are going to have music. And then 4 o'clock today, we have got softball Madison at Waterville. And you can hear it live, all the action, right here with Mike Violet, play-by-play, starting at 4 o'clock on your local sports station and Maine's Heritage Station. Have a great afternoon. I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 9. Mike Violet here back at 6 o'clock. And remember, Coast to Coast tonight, I'm pretty excited about this. I've been blessed this week. I'll be filling in for Keith Hansen on K-Star, Right America Media, and a bunch of other outlets as well. So, and I'll put a link on my page later on for that. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Incense and Peppermints doesn't just have a huge selection of scrumptious candies. They have sweet treats that'll bring back wonderful memories every time you share them. Incense and Peppermints has candy that's fun for the whole family, like Jelly Bellies, Smarties, Turkish Taffy, Mellow Cups, Laffy Taffy, and Necco wafers. And candy that'll take you on a trip down memory lane, like old-fashioned penny candies, root beer barrels, atomic fireballs, Mary Jane's Bit of Honey, and Jawbreakers. They even carry Maine favorites like Moose Poop and Saltwater Taffy. Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
Look around and you'll see hardworking people doing amazing things. People like nurses and respiratory therapists who keep us healthy, teachers and mental health specialists who care for our loved ones. And let's not forget the builders, electricians, and plumbers who help make sure our homes are safe and comfortable. What you might not know is that many of these men and women got their start right here, close to home, at Kennebec Valley Community College. Hi, I'm Teresa Smith, Director of Advising. And for more than 50 years, KVCC has expanded the programs we offer in order to meet the changing needs of Maine's workforce. Our adaptability truly is our strength, and we want you to know that no matter what changes the future brings, KVCC will be here, providing affordable, high-quality education to the people of Central Maine. With summer classes beginning on May 10th, there's no need to wait. You can apply today. High school juniors and seniors may even qualify for a free class this summer. To learn more, visit us online at kvcc.me.edu, or better yet, call us at 453-5822. That's 453-KVCC.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.